Autism isn't a disease, it's a different way of thinking. It's a unique perspective, not something that needs to be fixed or cured. Instead of seeing autism as a problem, imagine it as a different operating system, one that comes with its own set of strengths and challenges. My mind works like a search engine for images. When I hear a word or phrase, my brain instantly pulls up a library of pictures and memories, connecting ideas visually rather than verbally. For example, when you say church steeple, I don't just think of the word, I see a slideshow of every steeple I've ever seen, each one popping up in my mind's eye, detailed and vivid. Most people think in words, I think in pictures. My thoughts are like a movie, constantly playing, full of color and detail. For autistic people, the world can be confusing because our brains process sights, sounds, and feelings differently. Everyday environments can feel overwhelming, with noises and lights that others might not even notice. This isn't a defect, it's just a variation, like eye color or being left-handed. It's simply another way that human brains can be wired. Some of us excel at details and pattern recognition. We notice things others might miss, and can spot connections that aren't obvious to everyone. I used my visual thinking to design livestock handling systems, mentally simulating how cattle would move. This ability to visualize complex systems helped me solve problems in ways that others couldn't. This ability comes from my autism. It's a gift that shaped my life and career, allowing me to approach challenges from a different angle. But the same brain that's great with patterns can struggle with social rules. They're abstract, always changing, and not based on clear data. Social situations can feel like trying to solve a puzzle without all the pieces. Imagine everyone else is using Windows, and you're on a Mac. You can do the same things, but the steps are different. You have to figure out your own shortcuts and workarounds. That's what it's like to be autistic in a neurotypical world, a constant process of translation and adaptation. Every day, we're learning to navigate a world that wasn't built for our way of thinking. We're not broken or incomplete, just different. Our differences are part of what makes humanity so rich and interesting. Our brains process information uniquely, leading to strengths in focus and pattern recognition, but also challenges in social situations. Sometimes, our attention to detail is our superpower. One of the hardest parts is the pressure to hide our differences and act like everyone else. We're often expected to fit in, even when it feels unnatural. Many of us do this so often it becomes second nature. We learn to mimic, to blend in, to avoid standing out. This act of hiding has a name: masking. It's a way of protecting ourselves, but it comes at a cost. Masking is a survival strategy in a world that doesn't always understand us. It helps us get by, but it can also make us feel isolated and unseen. It's exhausting, but often feels necessary. The effort to fit in can leave us drained, both mentally and emotionally. Understanding autism means recognizing we're running on a different operating system. We process the world in our own way, and that's something to be valued. Our differences are real, and so are our strengths. When we're accepted for who we are, we can contribute in ways that benefit everyone. Next, let's look at what masking really means, and how understanding it can help us create a more inclusive world for everyone. Masking is like being an actor in a play, stepping into a role every day, even when you're off stage. It's as if you never get to take off your costume, no matter how heavy or uncomfortable it becomes. For autistic people, masking means hiding our natural traits, quirks, and instincts just to fit in with everyone else. It's a social survival strategy, like learning a foreign language you have to practice constantly, memorizing the rules, and rehearsing every line. Masking isn't about being fake, it's about trying to survive in a world that often misunderstands us. We study people, copy their behaviors, and force ourselves to make eye contact or use scripts in conversation, even when it feels unnatural. It's deliberate, calculated, and incredibly draining, like running a marathon with no finish line in sight. Without the mask, we might be seen as rude, odd, or strange, risking bullying, rejection, or exclusion from the group. The mask is a shield, a layer of protection, but it also separates us from our authentic selves and true feelings. Think of it as a spacesuit. It lets us function in an unfamiliar world, but it's heavy, awkward, and exhausting to wear all day. The real person is always inside, quietly hoping to be seen and accepted for who they truly are. Masking helps us survive socially, but it's a constant, tiring effort that can leave us feeling completely drained. It's not about deception, it's about protection, about finding safety in a world that can feel overwhelming. The mask is our social spacesuit. our way of navigating a world that isn't always built for us, but wearing it comes at a cost, one that's often invisible to everyone else. We learn to mask to avoid being treated badly. From a young age, autistic children are told their natural behaviors are wrong. Negative reactions, like being told to stop stimming or being punished for honesty, teach us to hide. Masking helps us avoid bullying, judgment, and rejection. We all want to connect and belong, so we put on the mask to fit in. Sometimes masking is about keeping a job. Workplaces are full of unwritten social rules. Many of us mask just to be seen as competent. Some mask because we're taught to. Parents and teachers reward us for acting normal. The message becomes, your real self isn't acceptable. Over time, masking becomes a habit. It's a fragile bridge to others, but it's exhausting to maintain. The pressure to hide starts early and never really stops. Masking is learned for survival, but it comes at a personal cost. Forcing eye contact is a common masking behavior, especially in social situations where it's expected. Many autistic people feel pressure to maintain eye contact, even though it doesn't come naturally. For many autistic people, eye contact feels overwhelming or even painful. The discomfort can be so intense that it's hard to focus on anything else in the moment. We develop tricks, like looking at someone's nose or mouth instead of their eyes, to seem normal and avoid drawing attention to ourselves. This takes so much focus and mental energy that we can't fully listen or participate in the conversation. It's like trying to do two things at once, and both suffer. Scripting conversations is another strategy. Many of us memorize questions and answers or rehearse lines in advance just to get through small talk or group discussions. Socializing often feels like a test, not a relaxed interaction. We're constantly analyzing what to say and how to act instead of just being ourselves. We mimic body language and facial expressions, practicing smiles in the mirror and laughing when others do, hoping to blend in and be accepted. This is called social mirroring, a conscious effort to copy cues others use automatically, so we don't stand out or seem different. Suppressing natural responses, like stimming, is also common. We might hold ourselves rigidly still, even when we want to move. Stimming helps us regulate our senses and emotions, but we hide it to avoid looking strange or being judged by others. We might sit on our hands, clench our jaw, or tense our bodies to keep from moving in ways that feel natural to us. Holding in this energy is exhausting, like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. The effort builds up over time and can leave us feeling drained. Masking is a performance, and it takes a toll on our mental and physical health. After social events, we often feel completely worn out. Every day, we're puppeteers of our own bodies, carefully controlling our actions to fit in, even when it means hiding who we really are. Imagine acting a difficult role all day, every day, never breaking character. That's what masking feels like. Every social interaction requires intense focus and drains our mental batteries. Over time, we feel disconnected from our true selves, unsure what we genuinely enjoy. This can lead to a crisis of identity. If people only like the mask, do they like me at all? The fear of the mask slipping is constant, making social situations stressful. We might avoid gatherings not out of disinterest, but because the pressure is too high. After a day of masking, we experience autistic burnout, total exhaustion. We need hours or days alone to recover, sometimes unable to speak or do simple tasks. This isn't laziness, it's the price of fitting in. The mask comes off, and we're left depleted. Masking helps us survive, but it leaves us exhausted and isolated. Masking is closely linked to mental health problems. The constant effort to perform creates chronic stress and anxiety. Our bodies are always on high alert, monitoring our behavior and others' reactions. Anxiety disorders are common among autistic people who mask. The mask is a coping mechanism, but it brings its own problems. Over time, this stress leads to autistic burnout, a state of total exhaustion where even basic skills can be lost. Masking can also cause depression. Feeling like you can't be your true self is isolating. The energy spent on masking leaves little for joy or special interests. Masking often delays diagnosis, especially in girls and women who are better at hiding their traits. Without a diagnosis, people blame themselves, thinking they're broken. Getting diagnosed can be a huge relief. It gives permission to start taking off the mask. Understanding masking is key to supporting mental health. Understanding masking is crucial for autistic well-being. Families, teachers, and employers often only see the performance, not the struggle beneath. This leads to unrealistic expectations and misunderstanding. Burnout is mistaken for laziness, and struggles are dismissed. When we fail to see the person behind the mask, we invalidate their experience. Recognizing masking is the first step to empathy and support. It also helps us appreciate autistic strengths, passion, loyalty, unique perspectives that get hidden behind the mask. Creating a safe space lets the real person shine. For society, understanding masking is a step toward true inclusion. We can build more flexible schools, workplaces, and communities. The goal isn't to make autistic people better actors, it's to let them be themselves. Acceptance starts with seeing the real person, not just the mask. The most important thing you can do is listen without judgment. If someone tells you they're autistic or struggling, believe them. Avoid dismissive comments like, "You don't seem autistic." Instead, thank them for sharing and ask how you can help. Be flexible with social expectations. Understand that social events can be draining. Offer quieter, more comfortable ways to connect. Respect their communication and sensory needs. Don't insist on eye contact or stopping stims. Small adjustments like dimming lights or turning down music can make a big difference. Let them know you value them for who they are, not how well they perform. Celebrate their interests and unique qualities. When someone feels truly accepted, the weight of the mask begins to lift. Your acceptance is the key to genuine connection. Help unlock the real person behind the mask. Imagine a world where masking is a thing of the past. This world is built on education and acceptance. Children would learn about different minds, and diversity would be seen as a strength. Workplaces would focus on skills, not social performance, and offer sensory-friendly environments. Social interactions would be more honest and direct. Differences would be met with curiosity, not judgment. People could self-regulate without stigma. The energy spent on masking could go toward creativity and real connection. Creating this world is a shared responsibility. Autistic people need courage to be themselves, but neurotypical people must build safety. Every act of understanding helps dismantle the need for masks. The goal, a world where everyone is seen, accepted, and valued for who they are. That's a world where we can all thrive.